What's good? What's good? It's your boy OMD-DEX300, and you are now here at the Corner Store Podcast. Thank you very much for being here. As you can see, I got my towel. Man, let me tell you something. It's hot as a motherfucker in the San Fernando Valley right now. When I say hot, the average temperature has been 100 degrees for the last 4 or 5 days. Matter of fact, going on about a week, about almost 7 days now. And there ain't no break in sight. Global warming is real. They don't want to talk about that shit. You know, somebody got 4 or 5 air conditioners on their house, on their mansion, and they are cooler than a fan. I'm not saying I'm not cool. My crib is cool. But the little studio I chose to use, especially since it's included in my rent in my home, which just made fiscal sense, is my garage. So obviously I got to do this late at night. I got this light on now. It's hot as fuck, but I'm actually making it. Feel pretty good. I got a half cocked open. I'm not trying to do the podcast all loud. You guys can hear me. My neighbors are not being disturbed or anything. So I'm chilling right now. You know what I'm saying? Welcome to the show. Welcome to the Corner Store Podcast, episode 57. We actually made it to episode 57. On our way to 100, y'all. Crazy. I don't know what I'm going to do for the 100th episode, but I know I'm going to have to do something. Obviously, my watch time is not where it needs to be for monetization on YouTube, which is one of my goals I'm shooting for. Hopefully, I'm talking about interesting and being funny enough and quirky enough and talking about goofy enough things or serious enough things for that matter that you feel that you could watch this and get my watch time up, because I really want people to like, subscribe, and make comments on the podcast. Join the live chat. You know, ask me questions about some of the things that I'm talking about. Maybe something you want to talk about. The engagement is what I need. It's going to help me immensely. This is what I decided I wanted to do. One of the things, there's a lot of other things I got going on. If you're on my Instagram, either the Corner Store Podcast Instagram or my Dex300 all day Instagram, you see that I do other things besides this. But this is one of my goals, is to make this a reality. It came to me some years back. It just made fucking sense to me. And that's the reason why I'm doing it. And that's exactly the reason why you should do anything you put in your mind to. If it make fucking sense, do that shit. For real. With that said, welcome to the pod. Let me get out here for a second. Hold on. I'm trying to look at something real quick, and then we can proceed. There we go. All right. Let's see if anybody. Oh, okay. Whoever that is, welcome to the podcast. Thank you so much for being here. There was somebody on there a second ago. Whoever jumps on, I'll see you. Just say hello, and I'll say what's up to you back. The first thing we're going to start talking about on the Corner Store Podcast tonight is a fresh story. Just hot off the wire today, I believe. Maybe it might have been yesterday, but it's real new. It's a doozy, too. I talk about this type of stuff because it's crazy shit. This country's nuts. The people in it are starting to lose their minds. And I actually used to be ex-military, so this is near and dear to my heart. It was going to be 4 stories. I'm switching the lineup. This is the first story, and this is what it is. A U.S. soldier who was facing disciplinary action against himself by the U.S. Army, meaning this kid maybe went out. I don't know what this is. I don't know what he did. Obviously, it wasn't enough a big enough crime to confine him, because I was in the military. If you do commit robbery or steal, you're gonna be in confinement until they can do the art, whatever punishment, whatever general court martial they're gonna do to you. So if he was out and about hanging out, that meant that whatever he did wasn't that big of an offense, but he was gonna get in trouble. Article 15, some days restriction, some of his pay taken, something, because obviously it wasn't a big enough deal for them to actually confine him until whatever his trial was. With that said, this soldier, and let me say, y'all, sorry about the helicopter out there. If you can hear that, that shit is loud. It's so loud that I know you probably hear it on the podcast. But I have to have I have to have the studio door open to get some air in here because it's hot as fuck, like I said. But it's actually getting cooler. It's starting to get cooler in here. But like I said about this soldier, he was gonna have some disciplinary action taken against him. But this motherfucker, guess what he did? Now mind you, he's stationed in South Korea, which we're at. We're in South Korea for the threat of North Korea invading South Korea. The American Army, is in a cool situation, relations with South Korea, and it's obviously militarily, that we cool with them. Obviously, there's a lot of things that are made in South Korea. China more than anything, who happens to be an enemy of America. But anyway, we have dealings with South Korea, so that's why we're there. We're on the DMZ, the whole 9 yards. I don't know what this kid was in the cavalry. I was about to say I didn't know where he was stationed, but I know he was a cavalry soldier, meaning he was probably mechanized in some kind of tanker unit or something to that effect. This son of a gun, a black young 23-year-old private, I don't know if he's private first or second class, Travis King. Yes, he is a brother, a black dude. Another mark on us. This dude, instead of facing whatever disciplinary action the Army was going to do to him, which was probably not going to be that much. I don't know the circumstances of what he did or anything like that, but I'm just assuming since he was out and about going to the villages and whatnot, he wasn't being confined, so it wasn't that big of a deal. He decides to go over to the North Korean side and go AWOL. What the fuck is wrong with people, bro? Now, he's a young man. He's only 23 years old. So that tells me a whole lot about his way of thinking. What the fuck? My son is 25 and he's have some ups and downs and stuff like that. Very, very creative and amazingly talented person. But a lot of times it took a while for me to find myself, for that matter. And it's going to take a while for the kids today because they actually think they know more than the people who've been here before. I don't know if that's the case with this young man, but I'm just assuming because that's what a lot of kids are doing these days, is telling you what you supposedly know and you've been here before them, which always threw me for a loop. Well, I think this 24-year-old kid running from responsibility, whatever discipline they was going to give him, which might have been harsh. I don't know what they was going to do. I don't know his unit. I don't know how they do things there. But they might have had him running, doing all kind of crazy stuff in his unit. Who knows? But one thing I do know is you don't go over to the other side, to the fucking enemy. So now you probably looking at treason, AWOL. They're going to put your ass in jail forever. And they probably might even interrogate you and do some, well, what did you tell them? You know what I'm saying? You fucked up when you did that. It don't matter what president is in office, they're going to fuck you up. It don't matter about if it's a liberal or if it's Democrat. You do some shit like that, bro, and think it's some kind of joke or something. I don't know what he's thinking, but all I know is this. When your fucking ass come back over here, if you come back, because they may take you over there and torture the shit out of you, trying to get information out of you. You never know. You might be like, oh, this was some bullshit. I didn't mean to come over here. And they be like, nah, nigga, we ain't playing. The fuck? Don't come over here, nigga, and not tell us what we want to know. We want to know where the tanks is, how the lineups look, where they are on the map, all that. And if you don't tell them niggas, you might get your ass fucked up. Let's keep it real. Let's keep it fucking real. You know what I'm saying? That was crazy. Why would you do that? And you making the black people look retarded, like we just, I hate to put it that way, but they already trying to say everything about us, that we do this, we don't like to do this, we don't want to, but we want to. And then you go do that shit over some disciplinary shit that they was gonna do to you. It was obvious they weren't gonna do nothing to you real stupid serious. I just had a feeling this some little shit, and you decided to go AWOL and do a treasonous act to go over to the North Korean side and get captured by them niggas. It ain't like the nigga just over there. He captured. They probably interrogating his ass right now. Shit, it's daytime over there. They interrogating that nigga. Who is this? Just said what up to me. Oh, I thought somebody said what up to me. Somebody watching, whoever you is, shout out to the person watching right now. It's all to the good. It's your boy, the OMD-DEX300. This is the Corner Store Podcast, the mighty KSP. We was just talking about a U.S. soldier, a 23-year-old private in the Army, deciding to take his dumb ass from South Korea, where he was stationed, over to North Korea and gets captured because he was trying to avoid some disciplinary action by his unit for something he did, while I guess he was on duty or whatever. This world is crazy. You don't do stupid shit like that. That don't even make no damn sense. We're gonna move on because that's as silly as all get out. The strangest story in the world is going on. I don't know if you've heard about it. I don't know if you've been watching the news. I've been peeking in on it, seeing it on different things, and it's actually been on everything. Everybody was really worried about this girl, Carly Russell, the girl who supposedly saw a baby on the Georgia freeway, pulled over to see what was up with the baby, walking on the side of a freeway or highway, and summarily disappears after she called 911 or something to that effect, and they get there and find the car. This is a very, very strange story. It seems that from what the young lady had said is that she was duped into believing this child was abandoned and in distress. She pulls over and gets captured by whomever who set this up and taken. And she had been missing for a few days. Now, this is where it starts to get weird, everybody. The woman has been found unharmed, but it's, from what I understand, it's not the story and everything. It's starting to seem like that this woman actually may have set all this up in a Jesse Smollett, or Jesse, as what Dave Chappelle say, Juicy Suey or some cities. Juicy Smollett or something he was saying on his comedy special, that this might have been something planned by her. Like, what is going on in the world? If this story turns out that this woman set this up so they would go looking for her for some type of clout, or this world has lost its mind. You know it, and I know it. If this story turns out to be, what I just said, the world is going crazy. Period. Point blank. All I know is this: with them not caring too much about missing Black people as it is, and if this is, from what everything it seems to be looking like, is this some kind of stunt or some kind of setup, something to that effect? That's what this is looking like. So with that said, if that is the case, are you fucking crazy? They already don't want to fucking find us if people go missing. My own sister, and I'm only bringing this up because this is the seriousness of what I'm talking about. My own sister went missing and was found some years later murdered. My only sibling. That's the seriousness of this part of the thing. Now I'm finna get to the funny part. That ain't funny at all, but it's the same thing like what Dave Chappelle said on another special that he was on. Black people don't make good bargaining chips. We don't. If some Arabs took a whole flight of black people on the plane and hijacked that motherfucker, and they called talking to the State Department talking about, hello, State Department? Yes, we are we are terrorists and we have 150 black people on the plane. Hello? Hello? That shit had me dying when he said that because it's fucking true that they would fucking not give two shits. Now, people would be a public outcry, save these people like you would if they were white and all that. And they would sit up there and they would debate, and behind closed doors, they'd be like, man, I don't give a fuck about these people, man. I ain't trying to save them. Be real, keep it 100 with you. Fuck them. You know it's people thinking that. You know it's people in the State Department and the government thinking that. Black people do not make good bargaining chips. We do not. So for her, this Carl Lee Russell, possibly kidnapping on a highway, and it's a possible hoax. This was a setup. It's all over the news. People talking about it all on IG. Everything. If it's on Facebook, which is Facebook is dead as hell, and I'm still on Facebook. If it's on Facebook, everybody looking at it. So if this is a hoax, you're going to set us back getting saved by law enforcement or something 100 fucking years. They ain't going to want a black person call like, I'm in trouble. They going to say, oh, bitch, you crying wolf. They don't want to save you in the first place. So why would you do that stupid shit? Why? If this is what I think it is, you fucked up. Don't do that. You fucking us up. Here, this place already don't want us to do shit. They don't even, hey, you go to the doctor and say your foot hurt. Well, now your foot don't hurt. Nigga, I'm in my skin. What are you talking about? I'm telling you, your foot doesn't hurt. I'm not going to prescribe you anything if I feel like you don't fit. Doctors have actually told black people that to their face. Why? I don't know. This nigga might be losing his mind, or maybe he wants you to suffer. He's just saying you got phantom pains or some weird shit. What, nigga? You better change doctors. Fuck that nigga. I go somewhere else where the doctor like, well, your foot hurts? Really? Let's take a look. You know what I'm saying? He's concerned. But let me tell you something. You don't know what's your ass from your elbow in the United States. A lot of times it ain't fucking racist to say, can I have a black dentist or can I have a black doctor or something? It ain't racist to say that. It ain't racist to look for those people because you would think that if they your own color, let's hope to God, that they want to see another person that look like them is healthy. Because it's a toss-up with anybody else, man. Any other race. You don't know what these people are thinking in their head when you go into their office. They might don't have a problem with blacks, except maybe they had experience with a big, tall nigga like me. Like I'm trying to beat him up one day. As soon as you walk in, oh, look, he looks just like that fucking guy that tried to and don't give you the care you deserve or something. You know what I'm saying? You never know. It's hard to fucking live in a country where you're not sure about what your footing on in the world. I'm gonna just keep it real. So you can't have a lady like, I'm gonna say it again, Carol Lee Russell doing fake, I'm kidnapped fucking 911 calls. It's an extraordinarily fucking strange ass story in the first place to say. You see a baby on the side of a fucking interstate, not a highway, some interstate out in the middle of nowhere type shit. You pull over to fuck with the baby. I'll just call 911. There's a baby out here. That's all I'm gonna do. Fuck that. If there's a baby out there walking around, nigga, something ain't right. If 4, 5 other cars pull over, I'll see what's up. But if I see that baby and I call it in, there's a baby on mile marker 6'4". I'm sorry, I'm not. See, that's why I would carry a gun, because shit be looking weird. It's suspicious if I'm in the South. All these harsh ass fucking gun laws in California restrict you so much to where even if you had a gun in your car, you're going to get shot by trying to get to the trunk to get that motherfucker. So in the South, like where this happened, You just gotta have a gun and pull that motherfucker out. Baby, you all right? As you looking around. Little baby, you good? You good, little baby? As you looking around. You know what I'm saying? Little baby. And you find out if it's a midget or some shit, you got your gun out. If that midget turn on you, try to shoot you, shoot that nigga in his face. From what I understand, it was it was a rumor that it might have been a midget that lured her. She thought it was a baby. This is a crazy ass world. This story getting weirder and weirder. Keep motherfucking looking for this story. It's out there everywhere. The story's changing by the day. But I just wanted to mention it. This is a crazy ass world we live in. Corner Store Podcast. Let's get it. The next thing I want to talk about is this is an interesting story. A Las Vegas home today was searched for evidence, possible evidence that may be an involvement. Ain't no maybe, it is an involvement in the murder of Tupac Shakur. Who is this? What's up? What's up, man? What's up with it, K Wack? You know what I'm saying? What's cracking with it, y'all? What's good? Welcome to the Corner Store Podcast. For those who just popped in and said what's up to me, as I can see right there, I'm gonna tell you, review the stories we started with. The first story we talked about was a U.S. soldier who went AWOL because his weird ass is scared that he might get some kind of military action against him because he did some little bullshit crime. I was in the military. From what I can tell, this dude didn't do nothing, but he decided he's gonna go across from where he was stationed in South Korea to North Korea and gives himself over to the enemy. And they probably beating his ass right now. The second thing we talked about was Carol Lee Russell, the girl who may have faked her own kidnapping down in Georgia, where she said that when she called 911, that she saw a little baby on the side of the road and stopped to see about said baby. And then all of a sudden she mysteriously disappeared. She's been found unharmed, and from what I understand, she supposedly, from what her family said on an interview or a video, of an interview, that she fought for her life and all this, but it's coming to be under suspicion that this might all be a hoax, just like the Jussie Smollett or that nigga from what was the show Empire that did the fake, I got beat up thing. Crazy world we live in. I'm gonna tell you right now, this shit is crazy. And the third thing we just was talking about was a Las Vegas home. It's Edwin. What's up, Edwin? What's going with you, bro? This is my boy Edwin. This is my boy Edwin. He's represents a. I might as well throw this in there. This venue, it's located on Western and like 6th Street, if I'm not mistaken. God, I want to think it's Sugar Bank Live. That's right, Sugar Bank Live. It's the Sugar Bank Live facility. It has about 5 to 6 rooms and 2 or 3 patios. It's perfect for anything that you're trying to throw. If you're trying to do a music showcase, if you're trying to do any event, a wedding, anything, it's right in the heart of LA, Koreatown, kind of not too far from Hollywood. It's a beautiful location. Parking's pretty decent. At that time in the evening, you can have cars all up and down Western Avenue. It's just a great, great little facility. Check them out. Sugar Bank Live. You can catch them on Instagram and just put Sugar Bank Live in the Google search and you find out. That's in LA. Shout out to my boy Edwin. Thank you for being here at the pod, bro. I appreciate you. Thank you. Yeah, and the Las Vegas home was searched for evidence that might lead to the eventual capture of Tupac Shakur's killer. Now, it's a little vague on some of the details, so I'm not gonna really go into the story because I didn't write down a whole lot of it. This was reported by the Shade Room that this place in Vegas had possible evidence leading to who the killer was, maybe even where the weapon was that was used, the whole 9 yards. That is crazy. So that might confirm one or two things. One, they might be trying to say Tupac is really gone, and so people stop saying they see him everywhere and all that to even cover his tracks. If his ass did go into some kind of, what do they call it? Witness protection. Or the brother's truly out of here. and we might find out who truly killed him instead of Orlando. I don't think Orlando, what's his name, killed him. To be honest with you, I think it's a big ass conspiracy behind that because them two dudes is probably other than and see Jay now. It's kind of by default. Jay-Z became the quintessential hip hop artist that we know today. The other two is gone. The brother behind me right there. I don't have no posters of Big, and I want to get one and get one in here. I really do because I do really respect dude and what he was trying to accomplish in New York. He became probably one of the greatest rappers of that city. Maybe not the greatest lyricist, but he was very dope. Because there's some lyricists that come out of New York named Jadakiss, Nas, that probably would rival any rapper that ever came from that city. That's just my opinion. Jadakiss is probably one of the best ever. With that said, I hope they find Tupac Shakur's killer. They have to find him. They have to find him just for the simple fact that it's been too long. It's been too fucking long. They need to find Biggie's killer for that matter. They really need to come, even if it's some real dark, devious shit, and it was a plot just like all of us think it was. They really need to find. They really need to find those two brothers' killers. Because it's just, I mean, they found John Lennon's killer real fast. They found other, people who died. I'm about to sneeze. Excuse me, because weed sometimes make you sneeze like a motherfucker. Excuse me, y'all. Damn. But yeah, you get that weed smoke in your nose. Somebody said something. Let me see what somebody said. Hold on. Yeah. Hell yeah, I feel you too, Edwin. I appreciate you being here. Whoever else is here in the chat too. Shout out to y'all, man. Thank y'all for being here. Corner Store Podcast is growing day by day. It's getting up there. I'm feeling real good about it, real proud. Please spread the word. Let everybody know about it. We're trying to really, really make something happen here. Merch is coming on the way. We got stickers now. We're about to have armbands, the little wristbands, the little rubber wristbands. Take a swig of this water. Hold on. And everything, you feel me? We're doing a lot of things under the sun, trying to make this shit happen. Now, let's go on to sports and talk about a few things that's happening in sports. And ESPN had the hugest fucking layoffs recently. Huge. They laid off some of the most extraordinary. I mean, we talking about people that's iconic to the landscape of that show. People like Jalen Rose. Who else? God dang, so many anchors. Neil Everett is an anchor, Sports Center anchor that's the Sports Center at night, Sports Center LA. He even got laid off. We talking about some big people, like 50, 60 correspondents that got laid off. And there's a debate going around about Stephen A. Smith and other people like Malika Andrews, who has been found to be somebody that's truly, even though she's a black girl or a mixed black girl, and she's the lead anchor of NBA Today on ESPN, and she's been found to be very, very critical of anybody of African American descent or black descent when it comes to their credibility, and she always trying to find something tainted about them. We've talked about this on the pod before, and it seems like she's a plant by the powers that be in these companies to keep it to where black men, regardless if they're going number one or about to win the Heisman or do anything, it's always something brought up, especially if they're just coming up. You just starting to find out about them. Like when John Morant was in college before he got drafted and became a star. And what he did stupid since he's been in the league. They had some little stuff saying about him. Now, he kind of confirmed that shit that happened back in the day by doing what he was doing with his gun and waving the gun. These kids are dumb. One thing, there's white kids doing the same thing. They may not be doing the same things, but they're doing stupid shit, jumping over fire, breaking windows, doing all kind of drunk ass bullshit. But you'll never hear about that stuff. And everybody say, "Oh, here we go. He's talking about the black white thing." It's just facts, man. We anybody trying to. We want you to realize this shit is true, so you'll be okay. Where's the incidences with white people? Why y'all always saying this person was mentioned 8 years ago and some arrests? Why would you mention some shit that happened 8 years ago when this nigga been clean 8 years, chilling, everything, working hard? He get to the league and you mention some shit that he was in 8 years ago when he's 19 years. It's so fucking evil, but they want to like take. I don't know. But if she's privy to this shit and she know that there's some kind of setup, shame on you, girl. Shame on you. Something gonna happen to straighten you out. The karma's gonna come back. But if it's just some shit that they say do and you just reading it, even if that's the case, you should be like, I don't want to keep talking about brothers what they did. I would just have a moral compass and be like, I can't keep saying all this negative stuff about them. They already think I'm like some kind of plan. I would tell the ESPN people, but I guess she want to keep her job, and she don't care because she really feel kind of like that when she said, "Yeah, I'm gonna report on these motherfuckers. They're gangsters." Maybe she do think like that. And there's rumors that she don't like being black. She has a white mom. She always talking about her white mom, this and white mom that, and that's great. You came out of old girl, blah blah blah. But just because your dad was an asshole and you've seen black assholes in your life, don't mean that you got to be I don't know, acting weird toward us. But this story that I want to start is about Stephen A. Smith and another anchor who used to be on ESPN and got fired too, or laid off too, Dan Le Batard. Him and Dan Le Batard are going back and forth in regards of the ESPN firings. And Stephen A is kind of pissed off. And one thing I don't like about today's sports people is they don't keep it real. They'll sit there and go, I have a lot of respect for Dan Le Batard, but then say something negative about him. Just be all the way negative. Fuck all that happy camaraderie bullshit. Thanks, bro. All this camaraderie bullshit. And just keep it real and tell the fucking truth about how you really feel about the person and what they said. You know what I'm saying? There's guys out there that ain't on none of these major networks that used to play in the league, like Kwame Brown and all that. They have real cool podcasts where they telling their real opinions and real truths about what goes on in them boardrooms and the meeting rooms, the pre-show, rooms and all this stuff. It's real janky in there, man. You know what I'm saying? Most of these cats is football players and athletes. They really don't want to be putting them monkey suits on and being all stiff and shit and trying to be regular, not regular, but something they really not. They really want to just talk. That's why it's better when you see them on a podcast, because when they're on them podcasts, that's who they are. You know what I'm saying? They online. You're not even supposed to be, if you're a kid, you're not supposed to be watching that shit if it's like 21 and old, over type shit, because them dudes gonna cuss. They're gonna be themselves. And it's way more entertaining. Not because they saying bad words or nothing. It's because they telling the truth, real stories, all that. You know what I'm saying? That's why I love all the shows, Matt Barnes, Steven Jackson show, KG's show he just got, because he just had the professor on there. Shout out to KG. Shout out to Matt Barnes, Steven Jackson. Shout out to all y'all. All y'all fucking podcasts is ridiculous dope. Shout out to Ryan Clark and I forget the other guy. I know it's the running back and Channing Crowder, the linebacker. I forget what y'all show name is, but shout out to you guys, all you sports cats that be keeping it 100. Shout out to Shannon Sharp and the Club Shay Shay on me. I'm glad you got rid of for old boy. Now I was on. Now go look at this. It's on YouTube. The barbershop episode, one of the first episodes of Skip and Shannon when they first got together. I was on that episode. You could see that on YouTube. Just go put in barbershop debut episode, Skip and Shannon. Put that in on YouTube and you'll see me on that show. And that was one of my first few acting gigs I had. It was real cool. I got pictures, which I will put on IG tonight, of me and Skip. I didn't get a fucking picture with Shannon. I was supposed to, but I didn't. And I'm feel bad about that because he's a real cool guy. Real nice guy. But yeah, I've been doing some shit, man, handling my business, But to keep it 100 with you, as far as the ESPN layoffs, them people gonna lay off whoever they think they're gonna, whoever they need to lay off. It don't matter what skin color is or anything. I do think it was janky as hell to do it like that. But if I was them, I would think of it as a blessing in disguise because now you either go on vacation because you got bread stacked up. You can go chill for a minute, kind of figure out what you're gonna do, and start your own podcast. Cats like Dan Patrick and all them dudes that went on and started their own shit. Rich Eisen went on to the NFL Network. That nigga is basically running that place over there. He used to be on ESPN. A lot of guys, see, if Cats was still alive like Stuart Scott, God rest your soul. Stuart Scott, with his skill and suave and talent, he could probably be on Fox Soul or even be on his own podcast on YouTube, killing. God rest his soul. Another dude that pioneered on that show, that made that show, or made ESPN, the network, a real relevant entity. Stuart Scott was a real deal. A lot of people trying to mock how he did, he used to do his reporting. It was real hip hop. At first people was kind of talking shit about it, but fuck them. Turned out to be one of the best things ever happened. It's getting much cooler here. It feels good. You got a little wind, a little breeze coming in. I love it. The spirit of the month of July is going to be Rebel Kentucky Straight Bourbon Whiskey. You can find this at any liquor store, even in most major grocery stores. I got it at Ralph's if you're out here in California. If you're in the South or whatever, you can get it at Kroger. But Rebel, always remember, if you get any liquor and it's like a price point is a little less than like something like Hennessy or some of the big brands, always remember, most of these companies put a good product in a real heavy bottle because they have pride in what the product is in the inside. I gave this a shot and it really tastes good. It's better than going to get some E&J or some shit like that. No disrespect to the people at E&J, but I got to give it. This Rebel Kentucky Bourbon Whiskey is really, really good. So check it out. This is the spirit of the month for the month of July. Yeah, let's get it. So that's I pretty much covered everything I need to cover tonight. The funny thing is, there's a lot of things going on in the news. Stuff about Jamie Foxx, the new movie Raiders of the Lost Ark, not Raiders of the Lost Ark, but the new Indiana Jones film is doing really well at the box office. Well, it's not much out there in the first place other than Mission Impossible, which is also doing quite well at the box office. So they're bumping heads, and there's a few other films coming out. I also have a film coming out myself, which I'll be going to Canada to promote with the director and the person that was starring as the main character in the film. It's called Adi. He's a Canadian filmmaker. Shout out to Dwight Benjamin, a real cool brother. I played his stepfather in the film. Very prevalent in that. Did some scenes for that a couple of weekends ago. Shout out to him. So yeah, your boy gonna be going to Canada. I gotta get my passport and everything. That's crazy. But life is good. God is good. The Corner Store Podcast is always on Tuesday and Thursday evenings. I'm trying to see what's good. I don't think there's going to be a guest for Thursday. I'm basically might be by myself, but next week I just got a call right before the podcast, a whole cast, you hear me, of a music video. Maybe here next week sometime. How about that? Shout out DeAndre Adams, man, bodyguard to the stars. He's also directing this podcast. I mean, not this podcast, mine. No, I mean the directing the video that I mentioned. That the cast might be here next week. Dude is amazing, real cool dude. He's gonna always be working on me in the future, doing some security work. And it's just been it's been a pleasure to meet him and get to know him and see how he do his business. He's a very professional guy. And basically, keep yourself going, man. I don't give a damn what nobody tell you. You can make it in this world. You can. You know what I'm saying? And everybody need to realize this. Life is only as hard as you make it. And I've had some rough patches in my life. That's because I was tripping on my own motherfucking stratosphere. Keep yourself riding. Keep yourself gliding. And make sure to always come back to the store and get you something. You dig me? It's your boy OMD-DEX300. This has been the Corner Store Podcast. I appreciate y'all. Love y'all. I'm about to pack up this stuff and get my ass out the studio. Y'all keep it 100. Hey, pass this along. Like, subscribe, comment, and definitely share this podcast. Your boy talk about some cool shit. I could be sitting over here talking about how dumb some of these women be looking when they be out there twerking. But then I see a girl that really fine as hell be out there twerking, and I can't say nothing after that. The world gonna do what the world gonna do, basically what I'm saying. Just live in it. Either you like it or you don't. It's your boy, OMD-DEX300. We're gonna keep it all day long. You know what I'm saying? Appreciate you. Shout out to Light Slim. Shout out to everybody that's on the pod. Shout out to my boy Edward that was on here tonight. Appreciate you. And we up out of here. Peace.